Welcome back everyone to Getsu Fuuma then.
Part 2.
Yeah.
See, we are simply having one hell of a time with this game. Literally.
More like a hell of a time with Skype. Oh wait, or were you talking about the game? I was having trouble finding out.
So apparently we are in the first real dungeon of the game.
And we don't have any legs.
Because of the reason.
Because of the resolution issues at the time.
Well, hey.
You can say
don't
it's
let the audience
a hell
know.
of a lot resolution.
Don't let the audience know, Darkstar. We can always make jokes about it. Scare them that we're ghosts.
And abs.
Huh?
Because they are common in hell or something.
Yes, of course.
I decided to take the easy way out and use a map to tell me where to go, so I don't need a compass.
Oh.
Wait, you can get compasses in this game?
Yeah, you saw that in the previous part there was one in the store.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah.
it would tell me which direction I was going, but that was it. I decided to use a map to save time here.
So yeah, this is really a complete game in this sense, you know, you have equipment, different items will help you in these situations, different types of gameplay.
It's a mix of genres in quite the interesting way.
Yeah, it's like an early Sonic Adventure, genre roulette.
Ah, yes. At least Sonic Adventure. That did have quite a few genres. And it did it kind of well. Except for Adventure 2, where it sort of got a bit out of hand.
Yeah, anyway.
Anyway, so yeah, we just fought off a giant monster crab.
Attacking its weak point for massive damage and stuff.
Yeah, it's only weak point. Forget the keys, we're gonna slam, we're gonna cut the doors down.
Yeah, exactly.
Indeed.
By the way, Darkstar, another information. How can you exactly dodge enemy attacks? Because with a restricted area like that for the fighting, the hitbox to me seems a little bit weird.
I think if they come too far down horizontally, that means they're getting close to you. So you have to jump out of the way.
Yeah, like for example, in this case, with Samurai, how can you dodge it?
I think you're supposed to go to the side so he doesn't hit you and avoid the fireballs.
Okay.
Ah, so side to side, that's what you're dodging.
Oh, that makes sense.
But yes, this first boss was jokingly called Decapitlops, about decapitating the HD. Because it was basically a decapitated Cyclops with a samurai helmet.
Huh.
Nothing but blue wall, and an occasional purple door, and a purple samurai, hi!
Which is a ghost, I think.
Trying to warn us, eh?
Yes. Like,
It's
oh, you're getting
humor.
close to whatever.
So it's basically just a reminder that you're on the right way.
Yes, I would assume.
How ironic, trying to warn us to go back, yet instead they're just leading us to what is our quote-unquote doom.
Maybe they're trying to tell you that you're on the right path. I don't know.
Huh, maybe.
Reverse psychology. Incredible for a ghost of the feudal Japan.
Amazing the many theories we can think of when we're playing a game that's not even in our native languages.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you guys have noticed, but when you kill an enemy in the maze, you get money from them.
I see.
Yeah, I saw that. By the way, the other icons, what it represents, you know, the little face, the mask, and the candle.
Let's see, the candle is to light my way in the dungeons. There's a potion right there.
Okay,
So, basically, can your candle gutter out?
The candle never goes off.
Huh,
Oh,
lucky.
it's just a key item, okay, you need it.
Kind of like the red candle in the original Legend of Zelda. It never goes away.
Which is awfully convenient for once, thank God. Suck it, realism. We've got candles that will never go out, screwdrivers that appear out of nowhere, and chaos emeralds that materialize at our very will.
And do what the fuck we want in terms of powers.
Precisely. Then again...
I wish for Dragon Ball Z-like powers as Sonic.
Yeah, and that's what happened. But anyway.
So, do these mazes usually take long legitimately, or is it just a case of
No, here
memorizing?
we are at the boss fight. So, this I think it's not the boss, it's just another of the dooms that you faced before arriving at the boss.
These enemies indicate we're really close to the boss.
So he's a more elite mook.
Yeah.
Looks like
Rank A, higher.
Yeah, looks like the Reaper if he were a purple Cyclops.
And we're dead.
Yeah, somehow falling into lava makes us fall into bottomless nothingness.
When we're already in hell.
I guess it's the sun surface. Hell's lava is like the sun surface, which is basically hot gas.
Yeah, the symbol you saw when I fell in was ironically the symbol for death.
I see.
So basically, you're just shouting that to the enemy.
I'm shouting that will come when I die.
Yeah, it's like the Dragon Ball shout of doom.
Yes, but that symbol is power that you keep seeing flying out of my chest.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, hey, so it's like the Adam West Batman. Simply by doing an attack, you create a giant wall of text.
Yeah, kind of. Maybe they wanted to add a comic style effect.
That would just be hysterical if this did get inspiration from the old Batman show of all things for that. Batman.
Yeah, the Japanese Batman.
Is there a Japanese Batman?
I'd rather not speak about it.
I don't know. I know that recently there is a Marvel-based cartoon with when the Avengers are basically Pokemons or something.
Wait, the Avengers are Pokemon?
Yeah, like Iron Man, Pokeballs, Beyblades, thingies.
Whoa.
I don't even know what their name is. Where is... Oh, random skulls. Oh, it's kinda... Ah, Jesus!
Wow, the mummy from The Mummy Returns really let himself go.
Yeah, this is really uncomfortable to watch.
Hey dude, there's something up at the back of your head. Was missing number your father?
I think it's because I was playing this through a converter on my NES, which might have confused the processors a little bit.
Who cares? Headcanons.
Neither of me.
There. You said headcanon.
Ha 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 ha.
I
You
wonder
need
how
to
many
stop
other
making
puns
lame
will
puns before I lose my head.
Oh, but who says they're lame? When after all, this is a game, and okay, that one sucked. After all, I'll see you in hell. Okay, that will...
Literally.
Either because we have died. Hooray.
Wait, has this ninja guy died, Darkstar?
Well, this is the only story up with Fuuma in it, so I'm not really sure.
Huh. Wait, you're saying that this is part of a series, except this is dealing
No,
with this particular...
He makes a guest appearance in a crossover game, but that's about it.
It was that racing game that Konami released on mobile phones or something.
I think it was Konami YY World, which is also for the Famicom.
Okay, no, because Konami released, I think for mobile systems, a racing game with Konami actual characters like Grey Fox, Dracula from Castlevania and stuff like that.
Speaking of racing games, since I've noticed that there's apparently a sale on Steam, Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformers $5, so I guess I'll be snagging that.
Okay.
And we will get him this time. I'll get you next
time. Yeah, after smashing the wall with a sword. Okay. It really reminds me of Age of Empires 2 when people with swords can put a castle of stone on fire.
Well, you have to admit, it's already amazing that the sword can kill the dead.
Well, only with that may no peace from the sword.
Precisely. Let's see. So, does this guy just barf those skulls?
Yeah,
I have
probably.
no clue.
It just spits random firebolts while looking really, really disturbing and floating up and down.
Really? I think it looks like...
Oh my god, I just realized something. He's red and white, and he moves up and down. It's the barrel from Sonic 3! Oh my god! So this
He's
is
trying
what...
to invade the NES.
I should have known! It makes sense! This is where the barrel went after they got rid of it. It became
He
the
tried
first
to
boss.
invade the NES, but Konami stopped by making the game Japan only.
Of course. So they were really protecting us all this time.
Now it's dead, thankfully.
Burn in hell, barrel!
But firstly, that head looked like it was constipated.
I have the power and the creepy
Thunder,
face on my
thunder,
armor.
Thundercats! Oh!
So exactly, is this sword just more powerful, or it does other things?
It gives you an extra ability when you get all three.
Ah, so it's sort of like Mega
Okay.
It's kind of like the later Mega Man X's in that sense. You have to have them all or it does nothing.
Okay.
So,
And now it's time for backtracking.
Oh, wait,
Yay.
so let me get this straight. You have to go backwards through each level?
Yes.
Just to go
Now I'm
back?
starting
Dang.
to realize why this game wasn't localized.
Because it takes so long.
And it, how can I say, backtracking for any NES game usually means difficulty, and we all know how Nintendo treats difficulty for an NES game.
Need we say any more than Mario 2? Then again,
Yeah.
that game was... It's not that the game was difficult, that game was basically asinine in its level design. But
Yeah, it was like random, just
Yeah.
to make it more difficult.
And old Japan thinks we can't handle it.
Objective is to get the other two demon passes, and then I take a break from there.
Can't blame ya.
In fact, I die on purpose just to get a password.
Haha, that's strategic thinking now.
Okay. Select this. Creepy mask.
Ooh.
Yeah, hell is a weird place for Japanese people.
Yeah.
At least it's not the stereotypical everything's on fire.
Yeah, I will admit I was getting tired of those after South Park at this point.
I haven't seen that much of South Park.
Oh, South Park's actually a pretty good show. Speaking of which, I've heard the game's pretty good.
You mean Stick of Truth?
Yeah.
Because there are tons of South Park games and you
There
don't
are?
know how... Yeah, and most of them, aside from the Stick of Truth recently, most of them are really crappy.
Oh,
Kadikarus made a review about an N64 PlayStation game of South Park, which is basically an FPS with really bad qualities.
dang, South Park's been around a long time if it has an NES game, but yeah, I was talking about Stick of Truth.
No, I was saying Nintendo 64 and
Oh, I get
PlayStation,
that.
not NES.
Oh, I get that, I get that. That's why I said that South Park must have been I mean, South Park's been around a really long time, if it's been on that system too, but yeah. When I was saying a good game, I was...
Stick of Truth is fun and okay, but if you're not a real hardcore fan of South Park, you may not get all the references they make.
And you make it grossed out by it.
Yeah, and yeah, the rule number one of South Park, you need to have an iron stomach to resist
Speaking of
of
which, did you
the
guys know
most.
that Dan Green is a fan of South Park?
Huh?
Yeah,
What?
Dan Green is a fan of South Park.
Who is?
Dan Green, the former voice actor of Knuckles.
Oh yeah, Dan Green! Really?
So yes, Netflix like South Park.
Yep.
Whoa.
Mephiles likes-
That's a funny thing to imagine.
I can just imagine Mephiles sitting around in a dark room, just watching South Park saying, "This amuses me."
And laughing about poop jokes. Yeah.
And then that would be the only reason he hasn't gone through with the Solaris plan is because he wouldn't want to be through with South Park.
Oh, but that actually makes sense.
Yeah, that might actually explain why he takes his time during 06.
So he did
Wait,
watch
let me-
South Park.
So anyway, random warning, Jova, because the Stick of Truth, from what I've heard, is compared to the other episodes of South Park, the standard episodes of South Park, it's kinda more light in terms of humor. It really has really gross, uncomfortable parts in maybe one or two pieces, but for the most part, it's a humor everybody can laugh at.
Yeah,
I mean, even the religion's, the religion of pendants is very limited for South Park standards, you know.
I guess it makes sense. They don't want to make it too South Park hardcore. After all, this is video games. You have to sell them.
Don't you mean South Parkour?
And also, maybe you already recall, because you both are American, but the European version for consoles has some parts censored because, you know, a legal contract in the European, I think, video game act or something. But the PC version, for some reason, has no censorship.
Really? Even
so
in Europe?
Yeah.
Huh, so much for censorship.
Wait,
yeah, probably. Like I said, it's probably a thing, a tiny legal procedure which is exclusive to consoles. You know.
Weird.
The real weird part that I asked is why the game didn't come out even on the Wii U, because it seems that it was fine for that system too.
I have no idea why.
The only explanation I can get is that it was originally developed and published for THQ, but during health process, THQ went bankrupt, and all these franchises and working titles were split and sold to other people. Like I was saying in another video, for example, Variety Studios went down to Sega. And the studio developing South Park: The Stick of Truth went off to Ubisoft, who was the new publisher of it. So basically, it was up to them to decide which console we would have thrown on the system. So basically, that means no Wii U. But it's kind of a shame, because maybe it would have granted. I don't know if Nintendo is still want to have all those mature PEGI 18 titles, but I don't know. It seems they are still content to have Bayonetta 2, you know.
Speaking of which, I heard that in Japan they have to censor some games except from their PC versions to be allowed on consoles.
Yeah, that's actually funny. It's like, well, you remember, in fact, funny thing is that way back in the day, it used to be that, like, it was America that would make stuff all the more gruesome and dark stuff in Japan. Like, Kirby.
They're kind of still doing it, but I think it's even in European versions now, because I recently played on the 3DS Rhythm Thief and the Emperor's Treasure, and basically in that game all the gunshots are silenced, you know.
Really?
When there's supposed to be the sound of a gunshot, the sound effect, they're silenced. And there is a sequence when you have to play a minigame where a guy shoots enemies, basically with guns, you know. And the sound effects for the shooting is really reduced. It sounds like a toy gun, and the blood is colored in green.
I have to tell you, it's so weird these days to actually live in America and actually not have a dub toned down.
Well, there are, like I said, there are differences, but yeah, Europe is adopting those measures too, mostly because there are a lot. Oh God!
Whoa!
We have to get another pass now.
I wonder, do you think maybe, well, it's like ever since 4Kids has, you know, gone under, America seems to finally have our localized stuff actually more mature again. But yeah, nowadays...
Like I was saying, it's problem, right, it's sunk into the roots of, you know, Europe, because the people in charge of this basically are a bunch of bigots who are afraid children can be tempered by video games or some stuff like that.
That
you
is
know?
so oh yeah.
It's
yeah.
the whole rock and roll is ruining people all over again.
Yeah, I recall when seeing a...
Remember how in the 60s when people said rock and roll would have ruined people's life and the youngsters'
I'll never
life.
forget the 90s, which people used to say that video games are responsible for murder. In fact, I do recall actually that...
they're saying that even nowadays, don't
Yeah,
worry.
I know,
You
which is
the whole... There are a couple of... was a massacre in, I think, Sweden on Norway.
Might want to get back to talking about the video soon.
Oh, right. Yeah.
We got
But anyway,
one more to go.
bottom line, video games do not make people murderers.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
hey.
most of the time.
I mean, hey, if video games made people murderers, this game probably would have caused a whole serial crime wave down in Japan.
Oh yeah.
And don't even get me started on Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Right, well,
Yeah,
you know
other
that
like
basically it's Mortal Kombat who introduced the censorship rating, you know,
In America.
the age rating.
So...
It was, I think, both Mortal Kombat and Night Trap.
If I recall
I know-
correctly,
Anyway,
you're
I know
backtracking.
Splatterhouse caused some controversy when it was released in the arcades.
So much causes controversy. So are you backtracking at this point?
So, I'm going to grab the last pass. I'm not gonna... Can I tell you how I get it?
Sure, why not?
I have to keep annoying the person until he gives it to me.
Wait, you're saying that you
Really?
have to basically replay levels and then come back to that particular person?
So, I have to keep visiting the same guy over and over again until he finally gets annoyed and gives it to me.
Really? So
I'm
is that
serious,
supposed to
that's
be
how
like...
you do
reminds
it.
me of it reminds me of Takeshi's challenge in terms of randomness.
That's so interesting, though. It's like, well, it's sort of really out there, like, to just ask a person there and then you figure, oh, all you have to do is just ask again. Normally you have to do a quest. But yeah, that's pretty interesting. So, do you have to replay a level before you can revisit him, or can you just go to the same spot?
I don't have to replay. I'm very close to there.
Ah. So why is he such a stubborn guy the first few times?
I'm not sure. You just have to keep going into his house until he finally gives up.
Well, to me it looks like Skeletor from E-Man. I don't think he's a social guy. I mean, just look at him.
Hey, will you give it to me? Hey, will you give it to me? Hey, will you give it to me?
Please,
Hey,
please.
listen!
please.
Yes, he
Oh,
finally
I
gave
mean-
it to me.
Yes, I knew that would work the umpteenth time. I wonder though.
Yeah, beating the shit out of people.
I'd love to see the look on people's faces when they pretty much figure, oh, do I have to do this quest? And then when they come back, all they figure out they have to do is just ask them repeatedly. How'd you figure that out anyway?
I looked it up on a guide.
Yeah, it's not one of the things you figure out normally.
Tell me about it. It reminds me of one of those Ace Attorney ones where you basically have to press everything. You can't present anything. And that's how
And
you
you're not
progress.
supposed to know that.
And it also
Here I die
reminds me
on-
of the part where you have to play the idiot and present evidence to the very culprits.
Game over.
Ooh.
Oh. Sorry, Baba Yaga.
Oh, you're right. She does look like Baba Yaga. But we shall rise again.
Rise
part.
from your grave.
As we
You're in the
shall in the
next
next
part.
part.
See ya.